Okay, I'm here to gonna explain this pendant. Uh, it's a long story, but I'll try to make it short. It probably started when I was a young kid back growing up in a northwest suburb of Chicago, about 35 miles northwest. At that time, it was just on the fringe of the suburbs that were going into Chicago. And we still had farms and fields and swamps out there. And us kids used to go out there and just spend all day out in the fields and the swamps and just playing around. And then of course I was into fishing and catching turtles and that sort of thing. And then later on, I used to go to the Botanic Gardens in Denver when I'd be down in Denver, and my favorite place was the lily pad pond, where they had all sorts of lily pads from all over the world. And if you were at the right time there, they'd all be in blossom. And so these things were just, I guess, in the back of my mind and whatever. This is way before I started making jewelry or wearable sculpture or wearable art, which I like to call it. And the first pin I made was probably back in of this design was back in probably the late 90s when I first started making jewelry. And the first piece I really liked, and some pieces that I really like I give to someone, and that one I gave to my mom. And I've made very few of these, and this one I just made a couple weeks ago. And basically, to explain it, these are the lily pad stems, and the lapis lazuli from Afghanistan represents the water line. And these stems come through underneath the water line and then come up, and you have your two flowers and your one that hasn't flowered yet, your bloom. And then the fish is natural Sleeping Beauty turquoise from Arizona, and the dinosaur bone for the turtle shell is Utah material, and the varicite representing the lily pad is Utah material. And so basically, at one time also I read Waldon Pond by Henry David Thoreau, who lived on a pond in Connecticut in 1845 to 1847. And of course that was in the back of my mind. But when I first got the first pin done, I looked at it, and because I titled all my pieces, and the first thing that came into my mind was the title would be Waldon Pond. Just from influences from the past or whatever, that was the title, and it sounded good, and I personally liked the piece very much.